Said you don't need to worry about them, yeah, 'cause they won't get too far. Oh.
What's up, y'all? I hope y'all are well out there. I am Jaron, voice teacher, speech trainer, and the founder and owner of this awesome studio, the Jaron and LEGRAIR studio. This is another video that has been asked about quite often, and once again, I'm a little late in my delivery, but I still wanted to get to it. I actually taped this months ago, but for whatever reason, I didn't post it. And so anyway, we're gonna do it again today, but I'm excited to talk about this performance. There's so many good, juicy things, so I want to talk about a little bit of it. Here is Jaden B. Gray, also known as BLAKLEY, singing They Gonna Wanna Come. So let's talk about this whistling for a second, because I know y'all gonna wanna know this whistling and how to do it, if you will. Number one, I don't know. People like him and Leandria Johnson who can sing like this, they can probably also whistle like this because it has to do with the shape and the control of what's going on in here. So when you whistle, you're pushing air through a small opening in your mouth, if you will, but the air is passing through your tongue, roof of your mouth, teeth, all those things. And this helps determine the pitch or the sound of your whistle. So people have control over their voice and their vocal tract, like him. Like they can also whistle and have the same kind of control. It's not the voice that's activating the sound, it's the air pressure and the friction of the air that activates the sound. So when people can place their whistle in different places and really control the pitch, they can then control how the pitch comes across and really control it like a song or like a voice. Like when I did that, my tongue went up and down, the dorsal went up and down. So the air passing over the tongue and through the roof of my mouth, the pressure chamber changed, and so the whistle pitch changed. Now, how he does it like that, that's gifting. I don't know, because I can't do all that like that, you know, so that's okay. But that's essentially how the whistling works. He has mastered a way of doing it to where it sounds like actually singing. Like I said, Leandria Johnson, I think, can do it as well. You know, a few other artists can do it like that too. So it's definitely a skill, and he's also gifted in it.
All time. When it's all said and done, they gon' wanna come.
I love how the beginning is just, when it's all said and done. It's nothing extravagant, it's just kind of like setting the tone and saying the words. And some people will say, don't sing like that, you can't hear the words. If it's an intentional move to sing like that, I say go for it. Because it's a part of your aesthetic, a part of presentation. If it's intentional and you want to kind of start right here, you know, you want to kind of just do that for a minute, do it. If that's an intentional artistic move you want to make, I see no problem with it. Clearly works for him, and it can work for you too.
Once the battle is won.
So you had a little nasal, soft palate, velum thing drop there. You hear that little soft palate drop right there?
They gon' wanna come.
You see that jaw? They gon' wanna come. That soft palate is still dropped, but he's not incorporating the jaw into it. They gon' wanna come. It was almost like a southern drawl in a way.
Oh, but what use do I have for you then? You were never there when it was all happening. Yeah, oh, you weren't with me shooting in the gym, but here you come running after we get the win. Oh, when it's all said and done.
That transition to the head voice right there, musically and vocally, was so clean. So before, when he was in that kind of that British part, you kind of heard a lot more nasal going on right there. But then as he transitioned back to the chorus, if you will, the refrain or whatever you want to call it, there was a transition musically where he kind of changed keys back into the original or to the chorus key, if you will. And then that transition of head voice was there. He has a very strong head voice. Or, you know, thinner fold placement, whatever you want to call it, falsetto, whatever it is. He has a very strong upper register head voice. The transition was so clean, but both his chest voice and head voice has so much power and thickness. You know, I think some of that has to do with how he uses a soft palate and how he shapes it down here in the vocal tracks.
They go on, I come. Once the battle is won, they go on, I come.
He uses a lot of straight notes too. They gon' wanna come. They don't add vibrato towards the ends of phrases or different words, but he's very intentional with how he wants to place his vibrato.
Oh, you were so predictable. You were so busy, but now you want tickets to the show. Yeah.
That run has some glottal onsets. Yeah, right there, okay? So there were some glottal onsets in the middle of that run right there. And he's also getting a little bit bigger in the voice. He's kind of building up a little bit right here in this second verse, if you will.
Oh, you wanna be a part of the crowd, but the only reason is just the fear of missing out.
So there were some glottal onsets in that run we just heard right there, that last run. Oh, right there. But there was also a soft palate drop a little bit, a velum drop a little bit. But if you notice, there are certain words in that verse he didn't finish. Crowd. It wasn't crowd, it was crowd. It was almost like an N on the end of crowd instead of crowd. It was crowd. Almost like a nasal crowd. So he's really being intentional with how he's using the consonants as well. And really letting the consonants kind of navigate his vocal approach in this whole performance right here.
When it's all said and done,
when it's all said and done now, whoa. So he kind of finished the end softly, but went down in that descending run and then came back up.
They go on, come.
He added another syllable and they gon' wanna come. They gon' wanna come. Intentional. Intentional.
Once the battle is won.
I don't want to keep stopping every time we do something, but I want to talk about it. So there was a vocal yodel, a switch. Oh, right there in that. Once again, everything doesn't have to be a riff or run. It could be textures like that. Once the battle is won, like that, you know. But I'm trying to show you, just having that yodel in there brings a whole different feel to the aesthetic of the song.
Oh, they go on, come. Yeah, said you don't need to worry about them, yeah, 'cause they won't get too far. Oh,
they won't get too far. No. Once again, he kind of went to the R of far a little bit. Almost far. It was kind of like far. And then he kind of went down far. No. And then added like an N consonant, came back up on that ascending run. What an ear.
they said you better believe them. Oh, when they show you who they are. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but you gotta do what you know. 'Cause people all like to win, yeah. They'll go wherever it blooms, yeah, yeah. When it's all said and done.
You hear the yodels again? When it's all said and done. Ah, right there.
They go on, come. Oh, once the battle is won.
Did you hear that? No, that transition in how we use the musicality to shape that run. He played with the chord. He played with the music theory. I mean, he's probably doing this without even thinking twice, which is once again so important to understand how the music goes if you want to know how to do riffs and runs. It's not just, I want to move my voice and just, There is a musicianship to doing runs. There is theory, music theory into doing runs. And so one of the ways you have to do that is listening for the chord progression of what you're singing on top of or what you're singing with. You can't just start doing runs and hope for the best. You got to know how the music's actually going. And as you do it more, you get more and more used to kind of going off the cuff and kind of melding yourself into the music. You know, so some people can kind of get up on stage and kind of just start singing because they have enough experience to know and problem solve. You have to problem solve when you do riffs and runs. It's not just, I'm going to get up and sound like Kim Burrell. There's an element of problem solving to singing, and particularly doing riffs and runs and things like that. That is so like top tier skill. It's a constant listening. It's a constant brain function of listening and going for stuff and listening and how can I fit what I'm doing into the run. And also this accompanist is fire. So he's really going with these chord differences and chord changes and key changes, things like that, so seamlessly. They work well together here. But even so, there's a music theory component to doing riffs and runs and improv and scatting. There is such a top tier level musicianship that goes into doing them excellently. This is a prime example of that.
I go on, I'll come. Let me sing it one more time. When it's all said and done, they go on, I'll come. Once the battle is won.
So he migrated to that N consonant, that nasal consonant. One, he really sung that N consonant, which is a voice consonant. You can sing through it. So he sung to that N consonant, really shaped that run in that nasal consonant right there.
They go on, I come. Let me sing it one more time. When it's all said and done, they go on, I come. What's the matter?
So if you notice right there, he got up a little bit. He kind of anchored his body a little bit. Kind of came more like of a twingy head voice nasal thing. What's the matter is why. So was it woo? Why? See how my tongue is a little bit higher? And there's a little more of a narrowing of the vocal tract and kind of a little more of a nasal forward thing. So he kind of went up to that kind of a quality. So he really got that sound bright, forward, he kind of like really bitey and really aggressive right there.
They go on, I come. Oh, they go on, I come. Ooh, they go on, I come.
And you notice as he came down, the head voice, that brighter placement, got a little more softer. You know, that kind of stuff. As it went down, it kind of got a little more lighter and a little more centered, if you will. But that top stuff was bright and forward and aggressive.
One more, they go on, I come. Oh, when it's all said and done, they go on, I come. The fake friends, the fake family members, yeah. When it's all said and done.
When it's all said. So you had a lot of onsets. When it's all said. But it wasn't as bright as I'm doing. When it's all said and done. So you kind of went quick with those. Even those little changes, something like that. It doesn't have to be riff or run. It can be some cool textural, cool vocal things like that. Those little onsets in the middle of words. Why not? Why not? It works.
They go on, I come.
That larynx came down. I don't know why I even tried to do the note. I don't know why I tried. They gon' wanna come. So that larynx and throat were right on down. You can hear the larynx in the vocal tract change shape because it kind of got wider and bigger as it went down. But he didn't push. He didn't say the. He just the. He kind of supported, went for it, centered himself. They. And just let the note come out. A lot of times people want to go low, but they want to push those notes out. Don't push them out because it's going to compromise your pitch in many cases. If you try to push those notes that are kind of low, it's going to compromise your pitch. So instead of doing that, just go for it, relax, and sing it. That's what the mic is for, to amplify your sound. The word of invention. We thank God for modern day technology, okay? So let the mic do its job. Don't feel like you have to yell in the mic to make the mic pick you up. Let the mic do its job.
Yeah, yeah. When it's all said and done, no, 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 they gon' wanna come.
That no is kind of Dorinda to me. It was kind of like a Dorinda Clark Cole move. You know I love the Clark sisters, so.
Once the battle is won, they gon' wanna come. Turn that thing around, they gon' wanna come, yeah, yeah, yeah. They gon' wanna come. Last time say, they gon' wanna come. Oh, yeah.
This analysis in this song as much as I did, and if you did, click subscribe down below, then click the alert button next to it so you know when the next video is posted. And as I always will keep saying to y'all, be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, be vocally you. Alright y'all, I'll see y'all soon.